Well, this is Daryl Mark with ApexInvesting.com. Check us out for free at ApexInvesting.com/bootcamp. Get free access to our trade room, our training tools, and our training. And we're talking about how to thrive in 2021 using the Apex Sniper and Simplicity system. As always, we've got to throw up risk disclosures. So there's risk involved in investing. Know what you're doing before you do it. All that fun stuff. The automation we cover on apexinvesting.com/automate. So you can check that out there. I thought I'd show y'all. This is what I made on one trade this morning. So I thought I'd show y'all that trade, that simplicity trade from this morning. It was called out in the room, and other traders got it as well. Oh, come on. Maximize. There we go. Alright, scroll on back here. We had the open right there. Market ran up. And then it hit a wall on a dynamic magnet, one of my favorite things to see it hit. Busted a little bit above it, and then started to turn around after it hit the flux level. So right here, I called the simplicity short, and we wrote it down quite a ways. We were shooting for 820. It didn't quite make it that far. It made it right down to a wall. Kept going down. By the way, we entered when you got two down angles and it closes below the low of that bar with our stop at the solid line. So we're moving our stop all the way, waiting for it to close above the solid line. Got right near our target and then closed right there. And that was the big trade of the day. So it was an amazing trade on simplicity. That was literally the only trade you needed for the day. But with that, let's go ahead and you want to do some sniper review because it was a little more difficult on sniper today. So if y'all are ready. Today required a lot of patience because you didn't get a lot of trades. A lot of times, sometimes we have all three trades in literally the first 15 to 30 minutes. Today we didn't get much. Until later in the day. So I let it go past 9:35. So sort of a lesson for y'all. I know there was a ODD right there, but I let the 9:35 minute close before I take a trade. Then there was another ODD. I didn't take that trade because I let the 9:35 close, and that one was valid. But again, I wait for it to close. And now we can see that we're in 9:36. So now let's check it out and let's follow the day along and see how it went. I said today required a lot more. Trying to get rid of that. There we go. I just highlight the dark zones so that way I don't trade during them. That's why I have a highlighted background. You can just color it, or one of our indicators has it in there too. You have to ask me tomorrow. I'll try to figure out which one it is for you. Alright, so right here we get a short simplicity. Do we take it? Remember, we want things to be really interactive, so if you think so, say yes. If you don't think so, say no. Give everybody a chance to answer. Getting a lot of no's. But we did have a trade there. We had an ETX. It laid a paw right on top of a ZOI and another paw. So an ETX, again, is when you lay a trapped X box. That's a box with a reversal. The blue trapped orders inside of it. Has a paw on it and lays within 2 ticks of another one. And ETXs can often break through lines, especially when you add OPR, which is what that red arrow signifies. So they can often break through levels. So an ETX with OPR. So that one right there worked out. I can understand why you may not have taken it, being shy from the dynamic magnet with that OPR. It's a strong trade. Now we got a TX FTX long. Do we take that trade? DR is low, but it isn't. What else is it? It's HD. So the challenge on this trade would have been to go into the what? What would have been made you nervous on this HD trade? Yeah, mini magnet and a dev level. So it worked out, but it would have been a pretty dangerous one to have taken, because those don't often go through levels. So I'd say good job to those who avoided that trade. All right, we got a third bar swing here. Can we take this trade? Not really making lower low, are we? Are we just doing a pullback, or are we making a new low, a new recent low? Not making a new recent low. So that's just a pullback. So you wouldn't want to take a third bar swing on a pullback. Would have worked out, but again, not the best trade. Okay, now we got an SLZ off of Flux and some walls. So getting a lot of yeses. I would agree. I would take that trade in a heartbeat. And that one won. It also was an ETX. An SLZ is an ETX. Well, not totally an ETX, because well, yeah, it was. It was within a paw. And OPR. So you had SLZ, ETX, and OPR. Not really an HDD trade, because you have to have 2 pullbacks to have an HD trade. And that was just the first pullback. But it did have 3 things in its favor. Does everybody see that? Now, one of the smart things to do would have been to do what whenever it closed back down here, when it coiled on you? It's often wise to move it down to break even. Close out. So that one would have worked out either way, but just following the rules, which is what you want to do on a majority of cases for consistency. Now we got a TX long here. Nope, no trade. It looks like everybody agrees on that. Good. No trade on that one. TX short. Coil chop. Coil chop is when they have up, down, up, or down, up, down. No trade. So good job. All right, we had a TX long. Do we take it? It wouldn't have been valid as HD because HD was not on that bar. It was on 2 bars previous. Nope, we don't take this trade either. We're glad we didn't. Walking through. This was this big short we took this morning. Oh, we got a TX long right there. Do we take it? Nope, doesn't follow any of the rules. Very good. Anybody who's not answering, make sure you're answering so you're participating in it. You'll get a lot more out of the webinar. Let's see here. All right, we got a filtered TX long. We gonna take it? No, going right into a wall, going into a dev. A mini magnet right there, which is like right on top of the previous mini magnet before it started. And DR is low. So we don't want to take that one. All right, do we take this trade right here? Coil chop. No trade. All right, looks like everybody got that one pretty quick. All right, everybody see that coil chop? So we avoid that. Moving on down. By the way, this right here was the really nerve-wracking part of that simplicity trade. Because it just went sideways for a while before it continued down. But it was worth it for those of us who held on to it. Alright, we got a TX long here. Do we take this TX long? Against DR, doesn't follow any rules. No trade. Good. All right, we got a short right here. Do we take it? No trade. Going into a 30 tick mini magnet, a mini magnet, another mini magnet, a paw. DR's low, doesn't follow any rules, 2 to 3 bar chop. Yeah, I mean, it's loaded with reasons not to take it. All right, we got a long trade right here. Do we take it? It's against DR. It is not HD. So no trade. Oh, skipped one. We got a short right there. Are we going to take that? Nope, low DR again. Yeah, and you got some clusters in your way to the left there. we got a TX long. Do we take it? Nope, it's against DR. Notice we say no to a lot of trades. That's a lot different. Is anybody trading anywhere else where you basically take every trade setup versus warning when not to take trade setups? Have y'all experienced that before? Trying other systems where you just take every signal out there? What I found is one of the most important things is trading is when not to take a trade. It helps keep you in check. A trader was talking this morning about overcoming perfection and the challenge that that has. We talked about how you got to accept the fact that you're trading probabilities. You don't want to trade possibilities. Instead of trying to say, I'm going to trade certainties and not trade losers, which is what a perfectionist tries to say, which doesn't work. You got to say, I'm going to trade the probabilities that put things in my favor. I'm not going to trade the possibilities that don't. So let's keep going. All right, we got a filtered TX. DR not high enough. Do we have anything else? Got an ETX. But you're also in what? 2 to 3 bar chop. So is that a possibility trade or a probability trade? There you go, possibility. Probability would mean it probably would work. Now, you are allowed to take ETXs on 2 to 3 bar chops. So it'd be a what we call a level 2 trade in the Thrive training, but it's not a level 3 or 4. Okay? So level 2, would it have worked? Nope. Aren't you glad you stayed out of lane 2? Focused on lane 3. All right. If you haven't taken Thrive, ask anybody in the room. They'll tell you that you are missing out. Okay, oh, I'm missing a couple here. All right, what do we got? We got coil chop, no trade. And then we coil again. So no trade again. Now we got a long. Can we take this trade? Look at it carefully. Some of you would, some of you wouldn't. So I'd call it a lane 2 trade at best because of all the chop we've been in. Just looking left. You got crocodile eyes on your left. We talk about those a lot in Thrive. So, I mean, it is technically an HD trade, but it's got crocodile eyes, and it's got, again, we talk about that in Thrive. So, yeah, I wouldn't take it either. Would have worked out, but good trade to avoid. All right, let's see here. We got an SLZ. All right, no major level. Do we have a major level that we're coming right off of? It does have OD, but it doesn't have a TX. Your entry is right on the other side there of the dev level. So if you look, you can actually take an SLZ that's one tick away from a major level. So if it's one tick away from a major level, you're allowed to take an SLZ when it's below it on a short. Otherwise, it's got to be within 8 ticks of a major level. So we take that SLZ and it works out. Yep, and he got the sweeper leg. So did that make sense to everybody what I just said? Because I know a lot of y'all said no on that trade. Did that make sense, or do I need to cover that again? One more time, no problem. When you get an SLZ and it's just one tick away from a major level, like right here on the lower side, then that counts and you can take it. Otherwise, the high has to be within 8 ticks of a major level. So you'd actually enter on the major level in this case. Okay. Let's see what else we got. The high within 8 ticks. If it's a short, or the low within 8 ticks if it's a long, or 1 tick above it or 1 tick below it, and depending upon which direction you're going. Oh, we got one right here. Can we take this short? Is this a valid short? Nope, not a valid trade. We've said no to trades that won and no to trades that lost, but so far we've only said yes to trades that have won. Who agrees it's more important what you keep than what you make? Oh, missed one right there. We got a short right here. Can we take it? No trade setup. Not OD. DR is green. Yeah, no setup. Even with OPR, would not take it. OPR is only a confirmation. It does not override a trade. All right, we got a trade set up short here. Do we take it? No trade. We got coil chop. All right, we got an SLZ. Coming off a major wall there. Valid. All right. Where would have been the best place to take the profit on that trade? Yeah, 1 tick before that flux would have been the best place to get out of the trade. 1 tick before the flux, not the wall. The flux is that red line. Y'all took it. Good job. All right, we got a short right here. Can we take it? A lot of people were saying no. Look closely. So that'd be a close to HD trade. I don't know if I'm going to take close. So, but if you did take it, you would have got out of break even, and then it did go ahead to win. We got a double TX right here. Yeah, I wouldn't take that double TX. That doesn't look very range bound yet. But what is it? It's also an ETX, but again, it's coil chop. Do we take ETXs with coil chop? No. Do not take ETXs with coil chop. I know Lori doesn't, but she trades a little differently. She takes like one trade a day. I do count stuff from the 30 tick on the 10 tick to count towards an ETX. Well, if you did take it, you won. I call it a lane 2 trade, not a lane 3. So it'd qualify for a lane 2, but not a lane 3 or 4. Because technically you can, but I personally would rather wait on a better setup. Does that make sense? Like, it works, and it still works the majority of the time, but I just don't like taking them out of coil in 2-3 bar. Like, just wait for just a better setup. So if you're trying to stay in lane 3 and 4, then yeah, I'd avoid it. Alright, we got a double TX short there. Nope. You can have coil in them, but I just... Lane 2 on a double TX. Got one we skipped. Right there. We got a short right there. Can we take that? No trade. We're glad we didn't. Alright, what about this long right here? I would say DR is not high enough, and you got 3 bar chop. Y'all see that 3 bars up, 3 bars down? That can sort of be sneak up on you. Anybody missed that? You always want to be looking for that 2-3 bar chop before you even get a setup. That is how you see it. If you look at it after you get the setup, a lot of times you'll miss it. So that's the only way I've learned to stay ahead of it, is literally to be looking at the bars in advance. It would have worked out if you took it, but wasn't the best setup. All right, can we take this long? If you remind me at the end, Lewis, I'll go over it. Yep, we got an ODD long. And it's coming right back down to pretty much the low of where it was before. And the trade wins. What I liked about that one, even though we had a big drop, was we were right where pretty much we were before. It moved up, it moved right back down to that area, gave us an ODD to pop back up. Does that make sense? Alright, we got an FTX short. Exactly, first bounce. Does that DR look big enough to y'all? What else is there? HD trade? Yep. And it has an OPAR on it. So I would take it. And it worked out well. You can see that little red diamond up there right beside it. Yeah, they usually give you very good confirms. Alright, that's 11 o'clock. We got one more trade. Is that a long valid? No coil chop. Y'all want me to go a little further? So we're a little ahead of schedule. Now, have we had our 3? I want to emphasize that first. Yeah, we definitely had our 3 and done. Yeah, a few times over. So eventually we're going to hit one. All right. I'll take it to like 1 o'clock. All right, we got a TX long right there. No. If we would have had a lower low, we would have had ODD, but we didn't have a lower low, so no trade. Oh, skipped one. Got a short right there going into the wall. You gonna take that? No trade. Glad you didn't. All right, we got another short. Do we take it? Coil chop. No trade. All right, we got a TX short. Can we take that? There you go. Look closer. Some of y'all aren't seeing it yet. They got ODD on it, right? It's not an ETX. It's got to have another order print within 2 ticks of it, but it is ODD. So that was a good trade. So it's definitely a lane 2 trade because you have the crocodile eyes to the left. Maybe a 2.5 since it had a mini magnet on it. Lori only takes trades that have mini magnets on them. Alright, we got a third bar swing, which is good because it's, you know, near a bottom, but it's bad because why? You got two walls in the way. So I would say that's definitely obstructed. And it would have lost. So it's good that we didn't take that one. If I'm going fast for some of y'all, hopefully this will encourage you to watch the videos where we lay it out step by step. As you see, it's working really well. Alright, so do we have a trade right here? It's a little hard to see that. It's 166%. So no trade. By the way, the way I find them really quick is I will get the bottom for the detectors. Alright, we got an SLZ coming off a dynamic magnet. Going into a wall. So I'd say that's a lane what trade? A lane 2. So if you're trading lane 2s, you could take it, but otherwise I wouldn't touch it. I mean, the one, I guess, you know, measuring it, it did, I mean, I still would have been cautious, but measuring it, it actually did take profit before the wall. So it didn't look like it because it was so, it looked like there was more room that was required. I even thought there was more room required. And it is bouncing off of a dynamic magnet on a wall, which is one of my favorite levels. Talk about that in Thrive. Oh, we got a TX short here. No trade, not making anything. It's not ODD because it did not make a higher high. I can expand it, but if I do, it'll go off the screen. Not much I can do there. All right, we got a TX short. Can we take that? Look at it closely. Maybe you're missing something if you said no. Yeah, it's a solid ODD trade. Not an ETX, but it is an ODD trade. And that one finally got us. Like I said, sooner or later we were going to get one. All right, we got a TX short. No trade. Got a TX long. DR is low, but what do we got? There you go. We got HD on it, right? It's a winning trade. Some ugly chop here. We're going to take this short. No. For lots of reasons. Mainly that chop, but It also wasn't a valid trade. Got a double TX long. Yeah, I wouldn't take it either. Way too much chop. Got a TX short. Would be an FTX if we didn't have coil chop. Or you could call it a lane 2 what trade? A lane 2 ETX trade. It's not an elevator because it didn't have a cluster on the second or third bar. But that definitely would be a lane 2. And you would not have been happy about it. I think just about everybody said no. All right, we got a short here. We got OPR. We got HDD. We like that combination, don't we? And we take profit right before those dynamic magnets. Not OD, but HD. There we go. Profit taken. All right, we got a long here. ODD, taking profit right before the dynamic magnets. Okay, what do we do right now? What is our move at this moment? Yeah, get out at break even because we had coil chop. It did work out, but get out when you get that break even coil chop. All right, we got a TX short here. Can we take it? Does it line up with any of our trade setups? No. Okay, let's see here. What do we got there? Nope, we got coil chop. Got coil chop again, don't we? So, nope. Got a short coil chop again. So, nope. We got a long. Do we take it? Nope. Doesn't meet any of the rules. All right, we got a long here. Can we take this trade? It's not HD because it's not on the second pullback. It's not an ETX. You have to lay an OP level and be within 2 ticks of an OP level. So it's not a valid trade. The last one did not lay a mini magnet or paw, it just had a mini magnet, 2 mini magnets underneath it. So it wasn't an ETX either. It's also going into a mini magnet and a wall. Oh, skipped one. All right, we take that trade. Coil chop. So that's a no. DR was high enough, but it was in coil chop, so no trade. We don't take FTXs with coil chop. Also, good point. Iron is at the top of a range. All right, now we got a short. Do we take it? No trade. Got a double TX up here with all this chop. We can take it. Nope. So we got an SLZ coming right off of settlement. Taking it or not taking it? It has profit room before the wall. So I would call it a level 2 SLZ. Lane 2. And that's what happened. So avoid those lane 2s. Alright. Why lane 2? Because you didn't have anything going for it. You were right by settlement. There was no OPR. There was no OPAR. There was no trapped Xbox. No ETX. There's no nothing to give it a lane 3 or 4. And not when markets are that close to settlement, where do they usually go? Right, no additional confirmations. They often go to settlement. Oh, I'm jumping. All right, we got a short. Can we take this short? Yes, we got an ODD. So boom, boom, and we made money. There's also a third bar swing right there. Is that a valid third bar swing? Yeah, so you could have stayed in the trade, or you could have exited and, you know, taken another one if you wanted to add commission. So you could have stayed in this for 2 more bars and got an even bigger profit out of it. Let's see here. Now I'm going further than we usually do, but y'all are liking this? Oh, I jumped that one, didn't I? What was that right there? We got ODD. What else we got? ETX. So we have a double setup. You like it? So let's take it. And it takes profit before the wall. Perfect. Now we got a long. Do we take this one? $11.51. No, we do not take that trade. Let me go back to $11.51 real quick. You zoom into it. Well, I can't tell if it laid a mini magnet or not. It looks like it did. So if it did lay a mini magnet right there, it looks like it was a ETX. Live would have been easier to see because it would have shown you a pink line. So you're right. Good job. Alright, so we got that third bar swing there. Alright, we got a long here. Can we take it? Oh, we did this one. Yep, ODD. Yep, okay. Got a little off by backing up there. Then we did that one, coil chop, can't take it. Let's see if we can take this. Nope. No trade. DTX going to settlement. Nope, we got 2 3-bar chop. That's right. That's the #1 rule on DTX is more than anything, you'll never take them in 2 to 3-bar chop. You'd be glad you didn't. Okay, what about this DTX? Going into a wall. Nope. All right, we got an FTX. DR is low. Got a no-go there. TX long. Nope. All right, that's past 1 o'clock. All right, so did y'all pick up a couple nuggets out of the day? We'll get the 1327. Oh, you want me to go a little bit further? There's a 1325 DTX, which you could have taken. And it's an ETX. All right, so make sure to write down a few of the things that you picked up so you don't forget them. So today seemed a little challenging because we had to say no to a lot of trades, but were there a lot of good trades? Yeah, it can sometimes get tricky after 10. It depends upon if you've had your coffee or not. Then somebody asked me to go over my dynamic magnets. So let's see here. See, this is my dynamic magnet chart. That's a flux. This means that's probably a flux, which means that's probably a dynamic magnet. So I got my dynamic magnets on high. And I got my data series. That one I only have set to 30. That's on RTY though. Let's see, let's find NQ. Yep, 30 days. So make sure you only have 30 days loaded on your dynamic magnet charts. I'd rather take some good trades than take some bad ones. Exactly. Let's see, what's 1246? DTX, that would have been okay because you had the ODD with it. Yep. But you're going into a wall, so I probably wouldn't have taken it. Can you take MNQ trades fall on the NQ chart? You can. I prefer to take... yeah. That's perfectly fine. And if you use the trade copier, you can set it to copy over and take MNQ trades off of your NQ chart. Awesome. All right. Well, y'all have a fantastic evening. I'll get this webinar up for you tomorrow. Please go back to the dynamic magnet again. Okay. It's 30 days with dynamic magnets on it. Here's the indicator. Dynamic magnets, I have it set to high. Now my data series set to 30 days. That's all there is to it. We use 24/7 to make sure it encapsulates all time. It doesn't worry about 6 p.m. or whatever. It just includes it. Because technically the markets close at 4:15, open at 4:30, then close again at 5, then open again at 6. So we just use 24/7, then make sure we're not missing any bars. So, and one of the biggest things I can encourage y'all to do before I wrap it up is do what I just did every day. You know, later in the day or whatever, go back and walk through bar by bar, trade by trade, and look at it. And that will train your eyes to see things a lot faster. Y'all are very welcome, and thank y'all again for joining me for the webinar. I will see y'all tomorrow morning in the trade room, okay? Again, check us out at apexinvesting.com/bootcamp. And if you like the system, which I know a lot of y'all do, then please share it with your friends and let them know about it. 30 days free. All right, y'all have a great night.